All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what is, without a doubt, the single most important document a public company releases. We're talking about the 10K filing. And I'm going to show you how to spot the exact red flags that professional investors look for and how you can do it in just a few minutes.
And honestly, this quote says it all. You've got two different stories. There's the story a company wants to tell you in press releases and flashy interviews, right? And then there's the story they are legally required to tell you. And trust me, those two stories are often very, very different. Your job as an investor is to find the truth hiding in that gap.
So, think of it like this. The company's annual report, that's its perfectly curated Instagram profile, all sunshine, beautiful photos, and rockets to the moon. The 10K, though, that's the legal deposition. It's dense, it's designed to be boring, and it's exactly where all the inconvenient truths are buried. We're going to treat this like a forensic investigation.
And this just illustrates the point perfectly. Right before one of the biggest corporate meltdowns in history, you have the CEO, on record, pointing to the filings as proof that everything's fine. And you know what? He was technically right. The problems were in there, they were just buried deep inside all that complexity. He was counting on nobody actually looking closely. That is a mistake we are not going to make.
So, the big question is, how in the world do we cut through hundreds of pages of dense legal jargon to find what actually matters? Well, you don't need a fancy finance degree. You just need a simple toolkit. Let's get into it.
The secret weapon that pros use to scan these giant documents in minutes isn't some crazy expensive software or a complex valuation model. Nope, it's something you already have, built right into every computer.
That's it. The find function. This simple command is literally the key to unlocking the secrets of the 10K. But the real secret isn't the tool itself. It's knowing what to search for. So, let's cover the three most important keywords you need to know. First one up, litigation. You search this word to find out who is suing the company and for how much. Is it just some small nuisance lawsuit? Or are we talking about regulators from the Treasury Department and the CFTC alleging serious wrongdoing? This is the section where they have to disclose the battles that could cost them billions, the kind of stuff you'll never see mentioned on their homepage.
Okay, this keyword is basically a company's self-confession. Material weakness is the specific legal term a company has to use to admit its own accounting systems are broken. It's a huge red flag that means the numbers you're reading might not actually be reliable. You know, as they say, there's never just one cockroach in the kitchen.
And finally, number 3, liquidity. This tells you if the company has enough cash to keep the lights on. Are they sitting on a huge pile of cash, or are they maybe one bad quarter away from not being able to pay their employees or their suppliers? You can look for metrics here like the current ratio. You know, if their current assets aren't at least double their current liabilities, that's a sign you need to look much closer.
Okay, so once your keyword search flags a potential problem, your investigation goes to the next level. We're moving out of the main text and into the fine print. We're talking about the footnotes. This is where the real story is always hiding.
And this is one of the most important things you can possibly remember. Confusion is a strategy. If you're reading the footnotes and the language seems like completely impenetrable legal gibberish, that's often on purpose. The goal is to make you just give up and move on. Don't do it. This is exactly where you need to lean in.
This slide shows you exactly why those footnotes matter so much. Over on the left, you might see a single clean number on the balance sheet. Let's say $100 million in assets. Looks simple, clean, reassuring, right? But then you look to the right, in the footnotes, and you see the messy story behind that number. This is where they explain how they valued those assets, what kind of creative assumptions they made, and all the hidden risks involved. The clean number is just the headline. The dense text in the footnotes, that's the real story.
Now, before you run off and start scanning every 10K you can get your hands on, we need to talk about a critical, hard truth. This is what separates professional investors from everybody else, and it's all about timing.
So you did it. You ran your search, you found a major litigation risk or a material weakness, and you feel like you just uncovered a secret that nobody else knows. But here's the real question. Are you really the first one to know this?
See, you have to understand that these financial filings are what we call lagging indicators. By the time a problem is big enough that it has to be legally disclosed in a 10K, you can bet that company insiders and the most connected professional investors have known about it for weeks, maybe even months. They have already made their moves.
So let's be really clear about this.
Reading a 10K isn't about finding a secret get-rich-quick scheme. It's about risk management. It's about seeing the landmines that are already documented right there on the map so you don't step on them after all the smart money has already cleared out. Your goal isn't to beat the insiders. It's to avoid being the last one left holding the bag.
So let's bring this all together. What we've just done is equipped you with a completely new framework for looking at any investment. It's a fundamental shift from just consuming the polished stories to actually investigating the raw facts for yourself.
This is your new habit. Before you even think about investing in a company, you follow these 3 simple steps. It takes, maybe 5 minutes, and it could save you from totally predictable, catastrophic losses. You just ignore the news cycle, go straight to the source document, run your keyword search, and then you investigate any red flags you find in the footnotes.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Armed with this simple but really powerful technique, you now have the ability to look right past the marketing and see the reality of a business. You have the tool to protect yourself. The only question left is, what are you going to find?